On this Versus, I'm comparing two neutral-toned gold acrylic paints. The contenders are Lumière Artist Acrylics by Jacquard in 552 bright gold versus Golden Fluid Acrylics in iridescent gold. I'll use the same 4 types of paper as before: mineral paper, Tyvek, 100-pound cardstock, and heavyweight printmaking paper. All their details are down below. Now for the framing. I'm keeping up the same plan of 2 sections per page and applying each paint on the papers with 1, 2, and 3 coats for easy comparison. First up is Lumière's bright gold, and the paint is quite fluid right at the start. While the smoothness of the mineral paper makes it easy to spread, I'm having some trouble getting an even coat. I have more success with getting an evenly distributed coat on the Tyvek, as the paint applies without lifting off previous strokes. The cardstock makes the Lumière feel very dry going on, and the paint clings to previously painted spots, not spreading out as evenly as I would like. I have to use a lot of the acrylic on the printmaking paper, as it soaks in quickly before I can spread it further. That said, the evenness of the finish is great. I let everything dry for 1 minute, then start on the second coat. The drying time seems to have solved the lifting issue with the mineral paper, and I'm able to get down an even layer. The Tyvek performs just fine, and the smoothness of the first layer is easily replicated on the second. While the second coat really helped even things out on the cardstock, the clinging problem still made it difficult to completely cover the streakiness of the first coat. I get a smooth and even application on the printmaking paper, continuing with its excellent finish. Another minute of drying, and the third coat goes on the mineral paper easily, with no issue. And that easy application experience continued with the Tyvek, the cardstock, and the printmaking paper. No lifting, no streakiness. I'll rinse the brush and get set up for the next contender. The golden acrylic needs a little water to keep it loose enough to spread, but I'll be keeping that to a minimum. I'm able to get a very even coat on the mineral paper with minor streakiness. The Tyvek is also fairly easy to get a low streak coat, but the texture of the fibers seems to pill the acrylic into little crumbs that take some time to smooth out. It's a little easier to spread the golden acrylic on the cardstock than the Lumière, but not by much. At least it's less streaky. The printmaking paper sucked out every drop of moisture I blended into the paint. It felt like I was scrubbing the acrylic into the surface. But the coat is very even. 1 minute of drying, and the second coat went on the mineral paper with little drama. The Tyvek continued to bring out the pilling tendencies in the golden acrylic, leaving the surface almost gritty looking. The second coat on the cardstock went smoothly, continuing to improve the evenness of the previous coat. The printmaking paper's second layer went well, and I even had a little trouble telling the difference between the first and second coats while I was painting. On to the final coat of this challenge, after a minute of drying. A very smooth and even coat on the mineral paper. While the pilling and crumminess on the Tyvek just compounded further with this layer. There were little to no issues with getting a smooth, even application for the third coat on both the cardstock and the printmaking paper. I'm removing the framing tape so we can take a closer look. On the mineral paper, both the Lumière and the Golden have similar levels of light reflection. Where they differ is on the streakiness. The streaks on the Lumière are much more visible on the first coat, and that carries through on each additional layer. The Golden is less streaky and more even overall. On the Tyvek, both acrylics have very similar finishes here. The same amount of evenness, low streakiness, and light reflection. However, the Golden definitely brought out a lot of the texture of the Tyvek in the crumbly pilling, while the Lumière section has a smoothed over look to the surface. On the cardstock, the clinging issue the Lumière had is very apparent, and the Golden clearly has a smoother and less streaky finish on this paper. But I do think the Lumière looks more vibrant on the cardstock and reflects more light than the Golden. On the printmaking paper, the way this paper held on to both of these acrylics led to a very dense, low streak finish from the first layer on. The light reflection is similar on both the Lumière and Golden, but the Golden applied so well with one layer that I had trouble keeping track of where I had already painted. Overall, these two gold acrylic paints lean toward a neutral tone that reflects a yellowish tint when light hits them. Both are translucent, but can achieve a more opaque finish by building up layers with minimal drying time in between coats. The Lumière acrylic has a stronger color saturation to its gold, and its texture is quite a bit more slippery and fluid, which made the first layer on the mineral paper and the cardstock quite streaky. The Lumière did very well on the Tyvek and the printmaking paper, so I think it benefits from a textured surface. The Golden acrylic has a softer, paler gold color, and it definitely needed the addition of water to smooth it over the paper surfaces. It gave a far more even, low to no streak finish on each paper, but did have some pilling issues on the Tyvek. I was extremely impressed at how good it looks on the printmaking paper, even if it took some extra time to get it on there. I'm happy you could join me for another Versus. If you'd like to support the channel and see more videos comparing metallic art supplies, I would truly appreciate you liking this video and subscribing to the channel. See you in the next one.